Alrighty guys, so here's my plan for the 8163T project. Since that motor has decided to be a pain in my ass, I'm going to put this K361 on here, which is the overhead valve version of the K-series motors. I got a Kohler adapter plate off of a 12 horsepower. And right now I just have that gear mocked up on there, so everything looks pretty good. The difference in why you get this like 3/8 space in here at the end of the crank, and I've done this with the 8199 KT too, is basically the difference between a Gravely block that is machined for the adapter plate. It sits back in that 3/8 of an inch, whereas this, it sits out that much more because there's a ridge it sits on instead of sitting flat against the block. So basically it is what it is. There's over half of the gears on the crank, so that's good. The main important thing is the measurement from here to here, and we have that. So basically someday I'm going to heave-ho this motor down off of here. I'll probably get my loader. It's not on the property right now, so I can't do that. But another day, I'll heave-ho this motor down out of here, and I'll take it over there and swap them out. The other thing I figured is this, guys. This is another 12-volt coil motor. Starter's on the same side. Charging system will hook up the same. The only thing I need to do is I need to fabricate some sort of exhaust, and I have to fix the air cleaner stud that's broke off. So if I get that handled, hopefully that tractor will at least run decent then and not smoke like a train. So basically that thing started, if it got hot, or when it gets hot, the left-hand cylinder smokes like a train. It starts forcing oil up into the air cleaner, and I have now ruined 2 air filters doing that. So yeah, I'm through with that, and hopefully I'll get another deck for it or rebuild some spindles. So alrighty guys, had to have the tap set out to tap the mud dauber nests out of the bolt holes for that, because obviously they weren't used, and I took a file to knock the rust off the crank so the gear would slide on decently now. So anyhow, I'm going to pick up my tools, and that'll be ready for whenever I get a chance, which who knows when that'll be. So anyhow, later guys. Alrighty guys, so getting ready to do the motor swap, or I'm already started on it. I got the old B43 off of the 8163T here, and I'm going to be swapping off this, swapping on this I think it's a 361, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, K361S. And the crank is right, the Kohler adapter plate bolted up. So basically right now I'm going to swap the gear off from the trans so that way it doesn't whine. I'll put you guys that one off. And get that one off over there and do the old swapperooskies. And then I'm going to bolt the motor on, and then we're going to just start working through issues here. As long as I can get the throttle set up, charging system, and the coil, and the exhaust, everything else I can kind of make do with. This has a separate starter solenoid on it, which I think I'm going to take off for now. I'm just going to go direct to the starter, because I already have a wire down there. Hooking the charging system up should also not be a problem. Hooking up the coil should not be a problem, because this tractor was already wired the same way for the unit. Fuel line, we should be good. I'm just going to have to take the fuel pump out of the line, because this has a mechanical pump, so we won't need that. And the only other thing I got to physically do to the motor is I got to wait till it's on and make an exhaust. You can spin this any 4 directions. I just have it loosely bolted on one right now, and I need to make a stud for the air cleaner to hold the air cleaner on. But otherwise, this motor should be pretty much good to go. This motor ran good. I heard it run on the tractor this was bolted to, and I got this motor for free They junked the tractor. So anyhow, gonna quit jabberjawing, and I'm just gonna be doing work. I'm not gonna video any of this. I would like to have this tractor ready for Saturday, and this is Thursday night, so gotta be hammering on this pretty hard, guys. So I'm gonna put the camera down and get back to work. Alrighty, guys, so I got the 18 horse K361 on here, and I have the exhaust kind of, it's just sitting there. Nothing is clamped. So I'm assuming when I go to start this thing, it's going to fall apart, but it's mocked up, and the muffler is probably going to get turned kind of up at an angle, so it's not leaning against the tire. And for working up at the tractor club, I don't want it pointed at the ground. If you're mowing grass or something, that's fine, but up there we're doing dirt work. It's always dusty, loose ground. You don't want it blowing on the ground and then blowing all the dust up, so details. So, other than throttle, choke cable, I gotta weld the exhaust up tomorrow night. It's getting to be about 8:30 at night. Let's see. Need a breather hose for this, which I'm pretty certain I can make a fuel line work for that. Yeah, other than that, the throttle, choke cable, weld the exhaust, and fix the air cleaner back, which includes the bolt for the air cleaner cover and the air filter, and a breather line. Pretty much ready to go here. We're good enough. I can shop test it. I won't be able to. Well, I could drive it back and forth at idle, but anyhow, here, let me set the camera down and we'll see if this thing will purr to life. This motor hasn't ran in, well, if I'm thinking at least 3 years, maybe it's been at least 5. It's hard to say. So anyhow, let me set the camera down on the tripod here, and we'll try and crank it up, see what happens. I got to run everything remotely back here, the throttle and choke and everything. So here we go. Okay, we'll give this a little prime for a good time here. Put a little bit in the carb floater butterfly down in the float bowl. So I haven't tried this yet, so let's see what happens. All the safeties are still going to work the same. What does that thing just seem like it turns over slow? I'm going to kick the idle up just a little bit, maybe to crank over a little faster. As the old, I know this thing ran. This battery might not be too good. Hold on a second here, I'll stick my my battery charger on with this while it's cranking just to get her to wheel over the first time. See what it does now. Staying in gear. I almost put money on we don't have spark. I'm probably going to have to clean the points. Let me get the spark tester out. Just checking for spark now. Need like 3 hands. Yeah, I got no spark. So let me clean the points. BRB. Okay, points were a little dirty here. Let's just see what you'll do. So we got spark now. So that's some go-go juice. I'm sure this thing had crappy fuel in a bowl. Then let's see if she'll light off once. Did I leave that choke open? No. Try it now. Ah, come on, starter bendings. Okay. Huh. Well, fudge. This motor ran when it came off. Alright. Keep playing with it here for a little bit. I'm going in for tonight. Alright guys, what am I missing? Anybody think the valves are messed up maybe? I mean, I hope not. It was spinning over with compression, but she sure ain't starting yet. So I pulled the spark plug out. It was dry, so put a little bit of gas right down in the spark plug hole. See what it does now. So it ain't getting no gas. I answered that question. And move that muffler right off of there. I'll have to see. It sounded like a pretty good fireball there. Alright, so we know it will run. Why is there... There's smoke coming out of here somewhere, guys. I don't see anything. No. I unplugged the stator wires now, so Guys, still recording? This thing catches on fire, I might at least catch it on video. I swear it's only running off the gas I put down the spark plug hole. That don't make no sense, guys. Not sucking the fuel up in for some reason. Plug is not wet now. Yeah, hold on a second. Did it backfire out the intake before, guys? I'm hoping not. Give her some fuel there too, hopefully it'll keep running. So, here we go. So it's got gas in the carburetor, but it ain't running off of it. Something. I don't know. Anyhow, I know it'll run. Trans sounds decent with it on. So the gear lash is right. Just gonna have to do everything else to it here, and probably what it really needs is a throttle cable, or me being able to rev it up and down. I guess I could pull the bowl and clean it too, because it's probably a mess if it's sat there for 5 years. So, alright guys, that's enough for tonight. Later.